Hello and welcome back. Today we will discuss evaluating algebraic expressions. And before we get started, let's review the last problem that we did when we studied the order of operations. Basically, we had a fraction line and we had some stuff going on up here that had multiplication and subtraction inside of parentheses. Now, as we know, grouping symbols are said to come first. So in that problem, we were basically discussing on what to do when you see a fraction line, but then you have grouping symbols, in your numerator or your denominator. And we covered the fact that you have to work everything in the numerator first, and then come up with your answer for that, and then work everything in the denominator and come up with your answer for that. We're going to look at exactly why we do it that way. So let's just say if we have a 5 times 8 minus 9 minus 4, sorry about the handwriting, and this was all over 2 times 4 minus 1. But let's see, what if all of this was in a bracket? If all of this was in a bracket in and of itself, and we had something like plus 8. Now, notice since the 8 is not directly beside that bracket, there's a plus sign in between, so we would in fact get the total from all of this and then add 8. And according to the order of operations, you can see how grouping symbols still come before addition and subtraction, because you will deal with this fraction line and get your answer before you add. So we know from up here that the answer to that problem was 5. So we have equals 5 plus 8, and then the final answer would be 13. Okay, so, and you will see problems like this, and you might even see something like this. So when you have the order of operations, you will have to do different parts of the problem separately. You do your numerator here separately, you do your denominator separately, then you in fact divide since it's a fraction. Once you have that, then you can move forward. But now that we've added that divided by 2, what does the order of operations tell us? It tells us multiplication and division from left to right before addition and subtraction. So we will have to actually divide 8 by 2 equals 4. So if we were going to do that, then it would be 5 in fact plus 4, So those are just some examples of the types of things that you will see. Okay, let's move on and do a new expression. So we did a few when we were learning the order of operations, so we're just going to do one by itself to see how this all works. Here are our brackets again. Okay, so what we have here is, you can read it left to right if you want to, but we're going to be working it from the inside out because we have brackets and we know that we do that first. Now take these parentheses, take the parentheses. There's nothing inside of this except for a 4. So we'll look around. Well, what's next to it? Well, a 3 is right next to the 4. There's no plus sign, there's no minus sign or anything. So what you're going to do is just straight up multiply that 3 times 4. And then what is this? This is a 2 times 1 is 2. Bring the plus sign down. So now you have a 5 times. The 5 is right next to that bracket, so it will be multiplication. 12 plus 2. And that's 5 times 14. And your answer is going to be 70. Okay? Let's do one with substitution, because you'll see a lot of that. Okay, C equals 3 and D equals 2. You'll see many mathematics problems like that. And the problem is 12C over 2D. So, we know this that C is 3, so that becomes 12 times 3. We know that D is 2, so that becomes 2 times 2. And that just becomes a 36 over 4 then. 12 times 3 is 36. 2 times 2 is 4, so that's 36 over 4. And it can be further reduced. This fraction, turn it into a division problem and see how many times goes 4 goes into 36. And so your answer is simply going to be a 9. And there you have it. We'll do a few more of these in the next video just to make sure that you have everything. Because it's going to get more detailed and more complicated. We're going to do monomials, binomials, we're going to do factoring and polynomials and all of that stuff. So we want to make sure that we understand this. Okay. Stay tuned for the next video, and thanks.